Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. The battle has been fought and the battle has been won by you. Now, as I was getting the messages, I was reminded of one of my favorite movies, Battle LA, where a group of aliens come to the earth and they try to take it over. But there's a group of human alien fighters that say that's not about to happen. Spoiler alert. At the end of the movie, the alien fighters are behind their barricades and the aliens are trying to take over. The commander notices something about the aliens in the middle of the battle. Bluka? 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 Wait a minute, the commander notices. They're backing up. They're retreating! They're retreating! He announces to the army, then he gives his command. Advance! Advance! And the alien fighters jump over their barricades and they begin to run closer and closer to the aliens, in which the aliens are backing up, backing up, backing up, and then finally running in the opposite direction. They came to take over, but they left running scared. And of course, the humans won. And this is what I was reminded of when I was getting the messages for you. Your enemy tried it. Oh, they definitely tried it. But they had no choice but to retreat or catch this defeat. And we about to talk about it all right now. All right, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are ready to walk in victory because you are, in fact, victorious. Now, if you did not see my previous video, I need you to go check that out so you can kind of be in tune with why these messages came up for you guys today. In the previous video, I was telling you about you've been 10 years old and you were out there, you got chose for the battle, and you had the secret weapon. The last video I did was all about before the battle. But these new messages that I have today, these are like the continuation of that dream that I had. This is all about you on the battlefield. How did it all go down? So that is what we're going to be focusing on today. Now, I have 6 different messages that I need to get to you guys. Of course, we're going to start here on YouTube. I need to talk to you about the retreat. Okay, I need to talk to you about how you are advancing, all right? And I'm also going to just be throwing in some extra special information that you might need to know as it pertains to this battle and as it pertains to the aliens or the enemies that you have been facing. Then we got to go over to Patreon because I need to talk to you guys about how did they know they lost? What made them retreat? How did they know it was time for them to start stepping backwards, right? Then we need to talk about the aftermath of how these enemies feel. Because once you face a defeat, there's a whole lot of feelings that come afterwards. You being the victor, you're going to feel some type of way, positive and amazing. But as the loser, that person might try something else. So we need to go into those messages so you can be prepared. And then, of course, we just need to talk about now what? Now what do I do? What are they going to do? These are all just extra bits of information as it pertains to the battle and how you should be moving forward for the rest of your days, okay? So, right here on YouTube, I want you guys to take a look at the screen. There are 3 numbers for you to choose from. I want you to choose the number that you feel most drawn to, but you know what? In this case, you might want to listen to all of them because in each and every single one of these messages, there may be something that pertains to your specific battle. And of course, as I tell y'all, the number you choose just may be something that's more highlighted in your life at this time. So without further ado, let's get to these messages. All right, so if you chose number 1, the word that I got for you as it pertains to this specific enemy is withdraw, okay? That means remove or take away from a particular place or position. So when we have withdraw with your enemy, this is either something they did or this is something that God did on your behalf. The battle that you fought, you were not alone. And of course, there were higher forces of higher rank who were there to help you. So someone, one of your enemies, had to withdraw. They had to remove themselves or they were removed, okay? Now, during this battle, they learned about your superior power, okay? In the last video, I told you guys about you were planted, the secret weapon was planted on you. This is something that in your regular reality, your enemy did not expect. The secret weapon that God gave you, the enemy was not aware of. So it did exactly what it was supposed to do. The secret weapon did exactly what God intended for it to do. It caught the enemy by surprise. Okay, so someone was completely surprised by your superior power. And I was told to kind of dive into that word superior. That means higher rank, status, or quality. So when this enemy was plotting to take you out or to take over, like these aliens thought they were going to take over Earth, they did not realize your intelligence, your power, your strength. Most importantly, they didn't know the things that God deposited inside of you that were already there to defeat them. It's kind of like that whole, I was waiting on you at the door. You know what I'm saying? No, that secret weapon that God put in you was waiting on that enemy at the door. Now, I need y'all to go back and watch that previous video so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with this, okay? Now, for some of you guys, the secret weapon that was put in you, watch this, was the truth. Somebody tried to defeat you with lies, but God deposited the truth in you. And the truth withstands the test of time. And it's only a matter of time before the truth comes in and demolishes the enemy's lies. Okay, so on Patreon, I told y'all what the actual secret weapon was that I dreamed of. But when I was getting these messages, God was saying that what I deposited in people as the weapon is truth. Truth is a huge weapon. Let me tell you what it did. It made your enemy reconsider your power after this defeat. It's like, ooh, I didn't know who I was messing with. I thought I was just going to come in, bump my gums. I thought I was just going to come in, throw these hands, and it didn't work out like that. They had to go back and reevaluate their whole life because they thought they knew something about you. They thought they had you all figured out, but turns out they were wrong. God left some extra special hidden things that they didn't account for. Okay? Also, with some of you guys, I got that in the middle of a battle, you took up for yourself. You may have spoken up or come out of character, or they may have brought something out of you that they've never seen you do or never expected you to do. And I kept getting this whole thing of, man, they didn't even know they had it in you. You ever felt like that? Like, man, I didn't know they had it in them. I didn't know they would do something like that. So you took the enemy by surprise because, again, there was something put in you that the enemy didn't know you had. They may have thought that they were going to come run up, but then they end up running away. They didn't account for that part, okay? Now, this is the other part. They may not like you. They might not even want to be around you. But there's a certain, even if it's real deep down, there's a certain level of newfound respect for you because they were defeated. They had to take a second look at you, or again, that word reconsider. I mean, they had to go back in their mind and they had to change the opinion of who they thought you was to who you actually was based on their defeat, okay? So again, if you chose number one, your enemy, this is either something that's happened now, already happened, or this is what you're coming into. You should celebrate knowing that this enemy that came to your planet or came to your job or came in your relationship, came in your family, came to wherever you were, they came for you. You need to know that enemy said, oh, let me withdraw. Okay, let me move back. And remember, withdraw, remove or take away from. So they have either been removed or God gave them a chance to remove themselves before this huge, humiliating defeat. All right, so you chose number one, congratulations. Your enemies realized your spiritual rank, your status, your quality, and they took a step back. Let's get to the next one. All right, if you chose number 2, the word that I got for you was just like in our example from the movie Battle LA, retreat. Retreat, okay? This is the act of moving back or withdrawing. The key words, moving back. So this is someone taking a second to take a step back and observe what just happened. Somebody took the retreat or the step back because they realized, oh no, oh I'm the loser, oh I'm the loser, let me take a step back, right? This is also backtracking on something that they said about you. Somebody said something about you, and this, to me, I'm feeling like this is information that you don't know. Somebody said something about you that was wrong, it was a rumor, that was backbiting, whatever it was that they said, and now they have to eat those words, or now they have to take those words back. One of y'all, maybe one of y'all, this whole internet, had an enemy who's mature enough to admit they were wrong. Okay, now that ain't for everybody, because you know people gonna come up with all kind of excuses to make themselves feel better about being defeated. But at least one of y'all got a person who was mature enough to admit they was wrong. Now, backtracking, for some of you guys, for the people who are not going to admit they're wrong, they're going to backtrack. So they're going to try to change what they said. And I even got the phrase, well, that's not what I meant. What I actually meant was, and then they go back and they rearrange their words and their sentences and try to make it seem like they didn't say this and they didn't do that, okay? And also what I got was tiptoe out the back door quietly. What does that mean? That means for some of you guys, imagine our scenario. You got the alien fighters and you got the alien who trying to take over the world. So imagine if one of the alien fighters was like, well, they finna take over the whole world, so I might as well go join the aliens so that they can give me some type of position and they won't take me out too, right? But then the humans won. So now that alien fighter is like, oh, the aliens lost? We was actually the strong enough to win? I was already on the right team? Let me try to take the alien uniform off and tiptoe over to my human uniform and put that back on. You see what I'm saying? Somebody joined the ops, in other words. The ops lost, and now they're going to try to tiptoe back over to you, okay? So they quietly retreating from the opposite team or taking a step back from the ops, and they're trying to work their way back in to where you are, okay? Now, that's important for you to know. Because in our case of the scenario, the aliens retreated and they just went back to their own planet. But for some of you guys, you have people who have teamed up against you who once they realized the team they was on was the losing team, they're going to try to get back to you for being on the winning team. And you're being told this in advance so that you know how to play the game accordingly, okay? Will you let this person come back on your team? Are you going to get them a uniform again? Will you allow for them to shout out your squad name? That's going to be up to you. Also, some of you guys are going to be hearing about a defeat that happened. So you might not necessarily be there to see these people retreating or stepping backwards, but you're going to hear about it. So some of y'all are getting this information right now because people who used to be on your squad have teamed up with the ops. The ops lost. And now those very same people want to tiptoe back over to you. That's dangerous. You got flip-floppers and people who jump ship. Watch out for those kind of things because those type of things are detrimental to your kingdom, okay? Woo. I got the note that if they join the ops, they're going to try to come back. That is very important. I keep having to say that over and over and over because this is like literally beating me over the head right now to keep saying that. You cannot let the op who joined the ops, it was a secret op on your team and they're trying to come back. That's very specific for somebody. I don't know who that is for because maybe you're right here at that part where you're reconsidering taking somebody else back into your life. What you don't know is that they was over there doing something else with somebody else who really openly don't like you. This person is secretive. This person is sneaky. I keep seeing like, you know, how somebody sneaking and they walking like that. I'm literally seeing that right now. Watch out for the sneakies, okay? But anyway, you chose number 2. I hope you're excited because the enemy had to retreat. They had to move it on back. Let's get to the next one. All right, if you chose number 3, get ready because you are about to advance, advance, advance. That means you are being given the green light, the golden ticket. It is time for you to move forward. Come from out of hiding. Come from behind the barricade. Use the weapons that God gave you, because whatever it is that you have in your hands, it is way stronger and way more powerful than what the enemy has in their hands. They may have thought they was going to win. They may have thought they was going to take over. But what actually happened was they was called to retreat, and you were called to advance. Now, what does it mean to advance? Move forward in a purposeful way. So that's what you're being called to do right now. Just in case you weren't looking out onto the field, just in case you didn't see the ops stepping backwards, taking their words back, shutting the F up, this is your warning, or this is your confirmation that it's time for you to advance. While the enemy knows they are defeated, press, press, press. And I'm not necessarily talking about pressing on them, but I mean press on with your purpose. Press on with what you was called to do. The enemy ain't standing in your way right now. The enemy is not firing shots, because they don't have shots no more. And every shot they threw at you, it bounced off of you, because they didn't know how invincible you were. You are being called to advance, to move forward, to take your ideas to the next level. Forget the enemy. Forget the ops. They ain't got no rank. They ain't got that power. You got it. And you're being told, use it. The field is clear for you to take over. Now, you are going to make progress, or you are going to be the reason other people around you progress, okay? For example, the commander. Advance, advance. All of those soldiers, they got the command. They felt safe. They knew somebody was surveying the land, and they saw something. The commander saw something that the people in the army didn't see. The soldiers did not see the aliens moving back, because remember, they hide and they trying to duck shots. But when you got the green light from God, he is saying, advance. The enemy is taken out. The enemy has to retreat. The enemy is feeling overwhelmed. The enemy is feeling like they're losing. So while they are feeling like that, this is your chance to go, go, go. You're about to run into a lot of developments, and you're about to run into a lot of improvements. Think about it. The whole world is scared because these aliens came. But these brave alien fighters defeated these enemies, and now the whole land can feel safe and protected again. So for some of you guys, you had enemies coming at your family. You defeated them. So now your family can be at peace again. Some of y'all had enemies on the job, but them people are being removed. And now you find peace and joy again in the places where other people and other things were trying to make you miserable. Okay? Now, another definition for advance is done, sent, or supplied beforehand. Now, let's go back to the previous video I did where I told you about the dream, where you got the secret weapon put on you or put in you, okay? It was already done. God already sent this thing way long ago. It was already deposited in your spirit a long time ago. You were already supplied with the thing that will make your enemy retreat, okay? So in advance, God already put it in you, put it on you, made it come through you beforehand, because he knew a time such as this would come. He knew that that enemy was on his way towards you. He also knew what he could give you that would make that enemy turn around and say, pew, in the opposite direction. Now, this is the question. How will you move forward in victory? Because some of y'all about to defeat the enemy and still walk around in shame. You're going to defeat the enemy and still feel like a loser. You're going to defeat the enemy and still have your head down. So the question today to you, my number 3 people, is if you knew that you had the secret weapon, you used the secret weapon, and your enemies had no choice but to run away, how would you move forward in victory? That key word is victory. Because it doesn't matter if the opposition is mad. It doesn't matter if I'm going to come back, I'm going to re-strategize, I'm going to get you again. And it doesn't matter if people who join the opposite team try to come back to you. No matter what goes on after this, they cannot take away the fact that they have been defeated and you have the victory. Think about those aliens. Of course they're mad. They got to get on their UFO and go back to the planet they came from. They don't get to take over this planet. Everything they thought they was going to get to do, you don't get to do that. And so now, as you are still here, it's time for you to celebrate. It's time for you to give yourself a pat on the back. It's time for you to give yourself a hand clap. Now, the last thing that I got as far as you advancing, you moving forward in a purposeful way, the ops are mad. And they might plan on doing something about that. So we're going to head on over to Patreon and talk about it. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and wrap this up. All right, guys, I hope you are excited. I hope you all are finding peace. And I'm really, really hoping that joy is running through your body. And if not, you just get yourself prepared because it's coming. The victory belongs to you. Now, I ain't done yet. No, aliens, come on back. We gonna talk about it. I know you would rather be quiet and just accept your defeat in private. But no, we gonna announce this victory just as loud as we announcing the defeat. So over on Patreon, we're going to talk about what made the enemy retreat. Remember, in our example of the movie Battle LA, the aliens started moving backwards. What made them realize they was losing? We're going to talk about that. Then we need to talk about, okay, the aliens got on the spaceship and they got to fly back to their own planet. How are they feeling? Mad. And we're going to be talking about all the different things that they experiencing and some of the new strategies they might be coming up with because they want to take over this planet, or they want to get you out that relationship, or they really do want to see you fail. So they might come up with a new plan. We're going to talk about it. And then we're going to talk about, well, now what? What comes now? What you supposed to do with yourself? Okay, so we got a little bit of the ops, a little bit of some alien losers, and then we got you, the victor. So click the link in the description box. Head on over to Patreon right now. I'm going to finish breaking this all down. And if this is where it ends for you, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button. I would love to have you as one of my subscribers. And I'll see y'all in the next video.